Everybody, I'm just going to give it a second for people to jump on. And like we have been advertising tonight, is such a special night because I am live with someone who is busy changing lives all over the world. So I want to give you a second to just jump on with us, and we are going to share these feeds real quick. And if you are here, you can leave us a comment to say where you are watching from. There we go. Welcome to everyone on Instagram, and you can join us on Facebook because my good friend Nikki Creer is going to be with us in a second. So I'm just waiting for everyone to jump onto Facebook and onto YouTube before I bring her on. There we go. Hi, Setu. Hello, everybody. All right, let's just give it a second here. Tag your friends in the comment section so that we can get people on here. We're talking tonight about mental health. We're talking about overcoming places of or mindsets of depression and anxiety. And if you are in a relationship that might be toxic and you just don't know how to deal with it, we're going to be touching on all of these things. And what is the benefit of a coach even? Hello, Natasha. Good to see you. And then you can see on Facebook. I'm going to bring on right now. So if you're on Instagram, you're going to be able to see me, and I want you to go to Facebook and to YouTube so that you can join us live right now. And here is my good friend Nikki.
Hello, Chantell.
Hello, Nikki.
And
Awesome. Good evening, everyone. Hi, Natasha. So I'm seeing Natasha's on while we're waiting for people to join Nikki. Natasha, that was with us in the semis journey of Mrs. Essay. She's greeting and waving. And I see people are jumping on Facebook right now. Maybe you can just tell a little bit. Obviously, me and Nikki, our paths crossed on the Mrs. South Africa platform in the beginning of this year. Maybe, Nikki, if we can just talk about that, have live conversation. What caused you to enter Mrs. South Africa?
yes, well, I always felt like I want to make a difference, and because of my story, I feel that a lot of women can benefit of hearing the story and how I could have changed my life completely. So I really always wanted to share my story, and I thought Mrs. South Africa would be a good platform or equip me for what I needed to help me in that regard. So that was my main focus. I was never really into the glitz and glamour, and my husband hated it. He was so scared I'll become a desperate housewife of Rustenburg.
I think you were firmly grounded still, at least. That's fantastic. So, Nikki, what is your thoughts though around pageantry for those who might be watching, and obviously they hear that that's the real concerns. Our loved ones, it's a journey that all of us enter together or combined. So, if your family and you, how important is support and so forth on a journey like that?
No, it's crucial. You really need the support of family and friends, and yeah, it's a lot of work, and you have to be very dedicated to pageantry. And yeah, well, I've learned so much. I mean, just in the short while I was there, the social media, watching workshops that we had, it was really beneficial. So.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, pageantry. You go into it with a certain mindset, especially like me and Nikki, who've never been into pageantry before, and then you learn so much. You really get upskilled. You get challenged and stretched beyond what you think you are able to do, and but it's an interesting learning curve. Obviously, with every pageant, there's going to be one winner. There's going to be three perhaps it's going to be runners up or first and second runner up. But for the rest of the ladies, it's all to equip yourself to become a better person. And then it's also a platform to launch you from specific course and her coaching. So hi on Instagram. We're actually live on Facebook. Next, the people are jumping on. Good evening to everyone that's watching on Facebook and YouTube. So this is Nikki Creer. She's my special guest, and she is my crown as a part of my Mrs. Universe South Africa journey. And part of the sponsor is that I is the sponsor. And now that Nikki is passionate and where we out our passion, that is almost, I want to say, the highlight reel. That's where we step into our purpose. But it's the battle scars beforehand which prepares us, which we don't understand or recognize when we're going through that. And I think tonight with our audience, there might be people watching, or if you're listening to the rebroadcast or the podcast, you might still be in your process. You might be in a place where you are feeling trapped or overwhelmed or overcome by the pressures, maybe thought patterns, limited mindsets, and so forth. But we want to help you to be able to lift you up and show you how to get to your destiny. So next, I'm going to give you a moment to just share with us firstly, can we go back to where it started? Because tonight or today, I'm looking at a woman who knows who she is. I'm looking at someone who is alive to give back to her community. But I believe it didn't start off like that.
No, not at all. I mean, yeah, I used to feel completely worthless ever since I can remember. I didn't have like a bad childhood or anything. I was in an accident when I was about 12 years old. But pretty much I can't really say something specific that it was a lot of factors that contributed to my feelings of worthlessness. And because I felt like I was never good enough and I don't deserve anything good, that I made a lot of very bad decisions in my life. And I got married very young, and we were both so broken that the marriage didn't last very long. And I had 2 children with my first husband. And a little while after that, I got married again because I was in the mindset that I have 2 children who will want me, who's going to want someone with children. And so I married my second husband, and he was very abusive towards my children. And he was...
Oh, wow.
Sorry?
No, sorry, I didn't know that part. Sorry, continue.
Yeah, so he was very abusive, and he was also involved with drugs. So it was, words cannot express the fear and torment I lived through in that marriage. It was every Friday I would start like shaking. What is going to happen this weekend? What is he going to sell? Because I would come home and half the electronics will be gone. And so it was this extreme, like a life of fear and anxiety. And I just had like a nervous breakdown, and I was admitted in hospital. And just like the good Lord sends exactly at the right place and time the people you need in your life. So I met a lady in the hospital, and she knew a police officer, and I told her my whole story, and she said, no, we can get you out. So the police officer came, and on the Sunday, the nervous breakdown was this Saturday, and the Sunday she came to take my statement, and the Monday morning she took me to court to get a protection order, and I had photos of proof of the abuse, my children being beaten, their ears were torn, and my mom kept photos of that. So so we got a protection order against him, and when we went back to the hospital, he was actually at the psychiatrist's office, and because they call your family to find out why are you depressed and things, and he was then arrested there in front, in the office of the psychiatrist, which was very traumatic, seeing your husband handcuffed and read his rights. But yeah, his father bailed him out before he had any jail time or anything. Now, up until in that part of my life, I was about 28, so it was 10 years ago this year. I had, like, I was really negative about Christianity and church and anything that had to do with God. And it wasn't, it was partly because I never felt good enough, like God wouldn't love me, or I sinned too much or so on. But I think the biggest part was I never really met Christians who actually showed me the love. So I was unfortunately like never, yeah, surrounded by a Christian community of people that the Christians you meet, they just make me feel more condemned and so on. Wow. So, and yeah, so I got into a church and I went to a divorce care group and I got saved and baptized, and I started my journey with God. And through finding my worth in Him, I made a complete life change. I started living healthy, and because I lived close to God, I wouldn't settle for anything less. And God blessed me with a wonderful, godly husband who's just wonderful with me and my children. He accepts them as his own, and yeah, and wow. And he's like the package deal. I mean, if I can take my mind back 10 years, I could never imagine me having a husband like this. So it's just
wow,
God's blessings.
Nikki, so I just want to go back quickly in your story because you said that so the abuse was so severe that you had marks all over, your children's ears were torn, and things like that. So did you feel ashamed to be able to speak out at first? Because obviously you were going deeper into a pit or spiral of depression and fearing what you would be doing next. If someone is listening right now that might be in the same situation, fearing for their life, not knowing what to do, who to ask, and just feeling like it's their fault, because that might be the lie of the devil as well. Can you just help us through that process a little bit?
Yes, it's definitely, someone who's trapped in that, like me being trapped in that situation, a lot of the time, or most of the time, is that you think you cannot cope on your own because you're not financially strong enough. So you stay with it and you try to fix, you go for counseling, you try getting help from family or friends or whoever, but I had to make this stand. After the arrest, we had to live in a very, very small flat, me and the 3 boys, and I had to we were so financially challenged. I didn't even buy meat for like a year or something, but I mean that was the sacrifice I had to make. I couldn't take it any longer for him to hurt my children, and. So
how did you you managed to get out? I just want to understand this quickly. So you went into this deep pit of depression. Someone recognized that you were being abused and so forth, and there you actually took legal steps. Were you afraid to get the police involved or anyone else? Did you think he would hurt you, or that things would just get worse for you as a family?
Yes, well, and even after the protection order, I couldn't sleep. I mean, if I closed my eyes at night, I would see him climb through a window or something, you know. So I was still not okay. So, it actually, the anxiety and depression you work with people going through divorces, I guess, through the church. And you cannot explain that kind depression to anyone that hasn't been through a divorce. So even though it was horrible, and I was in terrible circumstances, I still had the pain of the loss and the loss of the dream, loss of marriage, loss of family. So it was still the depression, and there was actually a time where I tried to commit suicide, and yeah, like I was just so incredibly depressed. Now, this was after I was baptized, and it felt like I'm trying to live right, but I don't know if God can. I couldn't forgive myself, and so I was in this bad space. And while I dropped off my kids, I was going to work, and I just started drinking pills, or like a whole container of pills. And yeah, so the friend that I met in the first hospital, she actually came and fetched me, and she lived in Brits, so she took me there, and I mean, I was so depressed. I didn't want to live, and she would like literally drag me from the bed to the kitchen and say, "Just
Wow.
bake," and she shoved like a muffin mix or something in my hands, and like it usually takes like 20 minutes to make something like that, but it took me like 2 hours. And when I finally put the muffins on the oven, I was like, wow, maybe I'm not a complete failure. I can actually do something right.
Wow.
So, and I told her, okay, I think I'm going to go for a run. And she lived close to a river, and I was running down to the river and did a bit of exercises there. And I had this moment, and that was my encounter with God. I like suddenly felt He said, I'm going to be okay. And I made a conscious decision there. I'm going to like live the best life I can possibly live. I'm not going to let my past mistakes and my circumstances determine me and my children's future. We are going to be fine. So,
Wow. That's a crucial point to get to, right? Because it all comes down to that moment, I believe. Obviously, you heard God, you were seeking Him, but I mean, in that state of despair, you almost couldn't care less. But then you made that quality decision: I'm going to live, and I'm going to succeed, and so forth. Even though nothing might have changed yet, I believe your financial situation might not have changed. Everything still looked dire, but that glimmer of hope that must have come into your spirit, and then someone who cared. And then
yes,
you became this woman, because I saw, and I'm going to put Nikki's website and everything on. She's a powerhouse woman, but I can see, even when you talk about it, the reality of that trauma, how you, when you go back into it, the effects that it has even on a person. I mean, it changes your whole psyche. It's ingrained in a person. You become a victor, but it's very traumatizing. And I believe that this is such a vital topic to discuss, Nikki, because our society is just plagued by all sorts of oppression. And did you know when you married him that he was going to be an abuser, or that he would get addicted to drugs, etc.?
yes, yeah, I mean, this was before I was saved, and because I thought I will never get anyone better, I knew about the drugs, and I knew he hurt my children. Well, it wasn't news, but I wasn't financially stable, so I I finally got a job, and I thought, okay, now I can leave him. And I found out I was pregnant. So,
Oh, wow.
so I had to stay with him. And like during the pregnancy, everything went well. But yeah, after the my last son was born, it just went from bad to worse. I mean, then he deliberately like favored his son. So he would then my other children would ask me, why does dad only love the baby? So that clear rejection, and yeah, and that was also heartbreaking.
Wow. Nikki, so for someone that is now, they feel that brunt of responsibility, that big weight, because they entered into this relationship. Now they're in this big mess. Maybe they're being isolated from their families, because I can imagine that these kind of relationships, it totally isolates you from people who love you, because that person kind of want to own you, or they are maybe afraid, they become jealous. So I can imagine that you get different degrees, but some people that might be checking your phone, or they're thinking they don't want you to leave, and you become almost, I think one can get into a place where you almost think that that is all that your life is worth, and that you won't, no one else will love you, because that's that's how this manipulation starts working. Did you ever start pity him, or did you feel like you need to mother him, or was there anything that happened in you that felt to you like if you would leave, what would happen to him or not?
No, I know like he has his father that will help him or so on. But I mean, he was very manipulative. He and he would constantly bring me down and say, "No one will ever love you." And I mean, he did crazy things. I mean, after the arrest, it took about 2 years for the divorce to be finalized. Then he would like phone
Wow.
on our married or what like huweliksherdenking. Then
Anniversary.
yeah, then he would phone me, remember you are still mine.
Oh, wow.
So he did all this very crazy things, but
So it took a while for the tentacles of his obsession with you to you could be free from him.
yeah, because and after I let the protection order go, he would constantly ask like for things that he like the washing machine. He would come and fetch the washing machine because it's his. And I would be smiling and singing my worship songs while washing my clothes with my hands. And I'm just like, you don't have a stronghold on me anymore. You can just leave. And that irritated him so much.
Come on. Sure. Nikki, so the steps that you started taking, obviously you met the Lord, you yielded, you allowed him to show you that he loves you and so forth. And your identity was being built over a period of time. So for someone who you are now a professional life coach, you've got international clients that you are helping, and that is your great passion, to assist people. So who normally comes to you? What kind of people normally is a good fit for you and so forth? And I have put Nikki's website on there as well for you to see her full extent of her services. But let's just talk about the type of person that you really want to help, and how does the process work of coaching a person?
Yes, well, how I came to the coaching is I actually did a pastoral counseling course. I'm doing my second year also now, and through working, like you have to submit like a whole essay, or you have to have clients or people that you actually counsel, and by helping people working through their trauma and stuff, I knew this is what I was meant to do. I mean, I love it to help people understand themselves, understand the trauma. And so my ideal client is people it's like they say your dream client is the previous you. Like people who
Wow.
struggle with low self-esteem, confidence, or even people that are just tired of living a life every year the same year. They want to achieve new things, new goals. And yeah, also because in the last 10 years I did a pastoral counseling, I did another degree, I did a lot of sport things like running and the and comrades. And people hate it when I say I did the comrades, but I always want to throw it in.
Why would you say they don't like it?
No, it's like when you say but how do you know someone is a vegan? Don't worry, they'll tell you. it's, it's like
Well, hats off to you for doing the comrades. Oh my goodness. So maybe we can speak in Afrikaans a little bit, because I think some of our audience is Afrikaans as well. So Nikki, daai foto's wat ek van jou gesien het waar jy was nooit vet nie, maar jy het gelyk asof jy nie gesond was nie. Jy het gelyk asof jy nie, you didn't thrive. Hoe het jy transformeer na hierdie dame wat ons nou sien, wat gespierd, gefokus, gesond? I can see that your mental ability, you're absolutely focused, you are honoring your body. How important is that? Sorry, I'm speaking English now. Dalk nie van ons Afrikaans antwoord, maar hoe belangrik is dit om te kyk na jou gesondheid om dan weer heel te word in jou geesmens en in jou gedagtes?
ek dink dit is so belangrik want ek meen eerste soos jou liggaam is die tempel van die Here. En as jy gesond leef, dan huisves jy 'n gesonde gees. Dit is nou maar net dat jy gesonder gaan voel. En ek het nou in daai tyd wat ek tot bekering gekom het, het ek by 'n gym aangesluit. So ek het dit was so aanlopend die gym en die kerk. So ek het in al twee die kerk en die gym het ek getransformeer in hierdie nuwe mens. So
Sure.
ja, so ek het die eerste jaar wat ek geoefen het, 2013, het ek net geoefen en saam met 'n personal trainer. And about a year later, I started running, 2014, and I did running and some cycling and the CrossFit, and my boys and I are doing karate. So, but I'm not doing everything. So now I'm just doing karate and running once a week. So, because I mean, we get older and the capacity just gets lower, but I think that a lot of the thing, health is a mindset thing. And you can see with so many people that when there's overeating or like me also had an issue with the anorexia and things, it's never a thing with food. It is a mental thing. It's a mindset thing.
Wow.
So yeah, so you need to have a healthy relationship with food. Like, I mean, when I was starving myself and now I'm just healthy. I don't, and it's also part of trying to find my worth in something else. I'm trying to look a certain way. I'm trying to, so yeah, I feel like I am healthy. I'm not doing anything extreme now. I'm just keeping healthy and eating healthy. And yeah.
So there's no external crutch that you are trying to hold on to apart from Jesus. And because you're learning all the more to understand who you are in Him, there's nothing else that has to, you either have to starve yourself or overeat or be on pills or drink something or pop something or whatever it might be. You don't have to be medicated to be able to function. You
And
are a whole person.
yes, and also not trying to prove yourself to anyone.
Come on.
Yeah,
Yes.
because I think that's a lot of the issues. When I look back, I think that was mainly a thing. I wanted to show that I'm good or whatever. I was very focused on what people think, and I just came to a place like, if God is fine with me, I'm not going to fall in a comparison trap. I'm not trying to live someone else's dream. I'm living who I am, and yeah, that is who
Powerful.
God
So
wants me to.
Nikki, when you minister or when you help people through your so it's you studied pastoral counseling, but you are helping people by coaching them. Is that correct?
Yes.
So because as far as my understanding is counseling and so forth deals a lot, obviously is present and past focused, but coaching is much more present. You can obviously touch on the past, but you are taking people into their future. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so let's get into your clients. Let's you can talk, you can minister, anything that you want to help people with, get them a few nuggets. And I really want everyone that's listening and watching now, if this is if it sounds enticing to you, or you know a friend or a mother or a sister or a colleague that comes up with you now, they've been struggling with the same things, and you're listening to Nikki's story and you're feeling like, wow, she's got a key, and I want to introduce that person. Her email address is on the screen right now. And for those listening, it's very simple. It's info@nikkicreer.com. Info@nikkicreer.com. You can email her anytime, even if you've got a question. And I believe she might. Do you do anything like a free session for someone to just determine if this is something that would work for them? Let's get
Yes.
into that.
Yes, I offer a 45-minute free coaching session. So anyone is welcome to have this session, and then we'll see if we are a good match. Yeah, because a lot of times with the coaching, we don't want people that's dependent on us. So we also pre-qualify. So we don't just take any client. We need to know that the person is also ready to do the work. It's just like you are a 100-meter sprinter and you need a coach. The coach doesn't run he doesn't do the race for you. You need to put in the work, and so you need to put in the work. I'll just direct you in the right direction and give you some guidance throughout the way. So each coaching program is like tailor-made for a specific client. So there's no, so I have like a list of things that we can do, but it usually depends on the client. And it's usually like will create like a vision of a desired state and what they would like to achieve, or if they have any limiting belief systems, and we'll work through that. And I also did a neurolinguistics programming course, which is very interesting. It's like Romans 12 verse 2 on steroids. So it's that whole renewal of the mind. So we work through a lot of that techniques, and it's brilliant. The transformation is just awesome. And we do some skills, and we work out a whole action plan of every week you'll have certain things that you need to do. And yeah, so everything is tailor-made, and we work on relationships, networking, yeah, decision-making, time management, yeah, creating, yeah.
So it sounds very comprehensive. What did I do with Nikki now? There we go. Let me just press on again. Next, let me just see where I am now with you. Okay, let's see. Anyway, Nikki, so this program that you do, over how long a period can a person, or must they commit at least, to be able to see progress and to have results? Because I believe that you can't change from a broken down, poor, rejected mindset, and in 2 weeks' time you're going to be thriving.
No, it's a minimum of 12 weeks.
Okay, 12-week program. And then I saw on your website, what am I doing now? Sorry guys, with this screen, let me just get both of us on again. I saw on your website that you obviously help international clients as well. Is there we go. South African clients, how do they go about? Can they pay you in rand? Just tell us a little bit about their packages.
I'll discuss the packages when I'm on the call with the client. I'll show them exactly everything that they get while working with me, and then we go through the packages. So yeah.
And it can be online sessions, I believe, that a person doesn't have to see you in person.
No, yeah, we online.
Okay, so that's fantastic to know, because a coach, I just want to say for everyone out there, and this might be a foreign concept to you, to think, because the first thing we think is, I'm already in a tight space. I'm already broken. I might be in a place where Nikki found herself, where she said for a year they couldn't eat meat just because they needed to get out of a financial situation. But now you're hearing what she's saying and you're thinking, oh, wow, I need that person for accountability. I need that person to help me and take me by the hand, because I self-sabotage very regularly. And then I find myself back at square one. And what does that do? It instills that same sort of, I'm a failure. So a coach comes alongside, and like she said, she's not doing the work for you. She helps you because she is outside of your sphere of reference. So she can have a different vantage point, and she can look at it. And I might say to her, oh, ek weet nie wat fout is hier, Nikki. But as I'm speaking and as she's assessing the situation, she can help me pinpoint to say, but you are constantly falling in the same traps. It's your negative mindset, the things that you say to yourself, your limiting belief, the rejection that you've never worked through from your father, that when you were a little girl, those kind of things. She can pinpoint and highlight, and that you have these light bulb moments, and she can help you to almost eat the elephant step by step. So it's that thing of which comes first, the chicken or the egg, or what do we do when we're in a tough situation? Because now you're saying, I don't have money for a coach, but I almost can't go without a coach. And that's why I want you to reach out to Nikki, because she's got tailor-made packages, or she can help you where you're at. I'm not speaking on her behalf. I don't know exactly how that works, but that's why that 45-minute session is there, that she can assess the situation and she can guide you. And I've seen that they say that coaching is going to become one of the biggest industries, or if it's not already, because across the world, in America and so forth, it's very big. It's catching on in South Africa, but it is helping people to, in a shorter amount of time, achieve what would have taken you forever on your own. And you know what? Even as Christians, for those that are listening right now, children of God, if you've got this realization on the inside of you that you were born for purpose, but you don't know how to even understand what your identity is, what are you doing on this earth? allow someone like Nikki to come alongside, because we have to take that responsibility to become the best versions of ourselves while we've got breath in our lungs. And I mean, a 12-week commitment compared to a year, the progress that you can make, I mean, it catapults you. If you start now, your 2024 can be at a high and you can achieve things that you never thought possible. So I really want you to give her a go, give her a try, but also have the commitment, because every coach will say to you upfront, where is your commitment level? Is it like a 1 or 2? You don't really know. You're gonna stop next week and you're gonna say, oh, never. Or are you at a place of absolute desperation where you say, Nikki, I've done everything. I've tried everything. I've gone on every diet. But still I feel worthless. What is it? And she's going to help you. Go and focus and commit to something for the first time in your life, perhaps, and see results and let her help you. Next, is there any topic that you've seen or people coming to you that they're really struggling with that you just want to highlight right now, or maybe mental blockages or things like that?
Um, the mostly is relationships, toxic relationships, and limiting beliefs. And I think a lot of people they also limited to thinking, oh, my life is here in South Africa, and we can really think big. We can reach a lot of people, so we don't need to just think of, okay, this is our life. So like I mentioned to you before, I do help, like I would help South Africans, because a few of my clients here have said that they would also like to have an online business. So I have an option for business coaching also. So and
Wow. Okay, so let me just get that clear. So you help people that might feel stuck. They've got the 9 to 5 or they're just scraping by, but you can guide them to maybe find something to make an extra income or to broaden their horizon to do international business. Is that correct?
yeah, it's like I mean, like a photographer, you can launch your own online course, and that's a passive income. You just need your phone, and you already have your skills. So whatever you are passionate about, and what is your hobby, or you can actually turn into a course and sell it online. And yeah, so there's
Wow.
so many opportunities. I mean, the sky's the limit.
The sky's the limit. So sure. I'm so excited, Nikki, and I believe that people just need this. And I mean, my life transformed when I realized that coaching is 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 a possibility, because otherwise we feel stuck. And it's really that time for you to act on your dreams. And a coach can help you to even unearth what is on the inside of you, because when we are broken and depressed and overwhelmed by situations, we can't even see beyond the end of the day or the end of the week. What more to say? We want to dream big dreams. I mean, if I think back 10 years ago, same kind of thing, broken, can't speak, don't know who I am, comparing myself to everyone else. I never would have thought I can do anything that's outside of the box, because you feel small, you feel intimidated, and then you give up. But it's like a coach is like someone that takes I always want to say it's a raki, an elastic, and they pull you back. And it might be hard in the moment, because they allow you and they force you to kind of dig deep to get out of yourself and your circumstance, and they pull you back, and you're like, this is not nice in the moment. But the moment that elastic goes, I mean, you are just catapulted into your future, and a whole world opens up for you, which you never thought possible. And that is why I would suggest to anyone, especially ladies, because that's Nikki's niche, is to work with women. And she's got a great track record. She's got many people. If you go to her website, there are so many testimonies that say that Nikki was so compassionate in the first place. She puts herself into my situation. She doesn't come and doesn't have an air over herself and looks down upon me. She emerges in or submerges herself, and then she brings me out of that pit, because that's the gifting that God has given her. And I really want to suggest to you to follow her on Instagram. We've got her handle that's ticking there. It's at Nikki _ career _ overcomer. Nikki Career Overcomer. If you go and search for her, she has amazing content. She does short video clips. that just sparks something on the inside of you. So go and follow her and really just put yourself out there, contact her, and also share her posts, share what she does, because maybe you're saying, okay, I don't need someone like that, but I know of someone. All of us know someone who can help us, or who can do as a coach. I see there's a comment here. I just want to get onto this quickly. Erika van Rensburg says that she is, let me see, she's saying something about drop shipping. Okay. Does she know about drop shipping? I'm interested in that business. Okay, so do you want her to help you with that? I'm sure Nikki can look into that. Let's have a look. She said, I would love to have a chat with her. Nikki, you are very beautiful. Come on. And then, okay, she says she'll go and follow you. Other people is commenting here. So if you've got any, thank you so much, Erika. Go follow her, suggest her, and then anything that you've got questions about, I'm sure that she can look into it and give it a try. And I'm looking forward to testimonies coming forth from people who said, I listened to you, I was enticed that night, I followed her, I saw that she was the perfect fit. She's now my coach. It's been a month, it's been 2 months, look where I am. Because you owe it to yourself to get out of the dire situation that you're in right now. You know what? God specializes in lifting us up, but he also works through people. That is something that he does. He never violates. I mean, God could have done certain things himself long ago when we call out to him and say, Lord, where are you? But he has chosen to work through men and through women. And therefore, it's important for us to yield and to allow the vessel. So you might not see Jesus in the physical right now, but he comes to you in the form of someone who comes as a rescuer. And Jesus is not just going to sit next to you and going to pity you and just going to leave you in your situation. He's going to say to you, come on, have grit. Let me take you out of this. And it's never easy, but you know what? When you stood up from that mud and you are stepping into your purpose, you know that it will be all worth it. Let me just see if there's more comments coming on. Nikki, is there anything else that you wanted to say before we end this broadcast?
No, thank you so much, Chantell, for the opportunity. And I really loved being your guest. And yes, I'm looking forward
Fantastic.
to it. Yeah, my videos and shorts are not great, but I'm getting there. I didn't like taking videos of myself, but
no, I think you're doing amazing. I mean, I'm really inspired by, because you speak with authenticity, and that's what I love. And especially the other morning, I was watching something where Nikki spoke about how do you communicate with your teenagers. And in that moment, it was morning, it was on the way to school, whatever, struggling. Everyone needs to eat. They need to, and it's that moaning and complaining. I mean, I've got 4 boys. She's got 3 boys. And I don't think it's just a boy mom thing, but it's this culture and this generation. We're really struggling. And you can find yourself as a mom where it feels like you're only screaming them from the one thing. Do your homework. Where's the washing? Bring your shoes. Eat, finish. Bring the plate. But there's no heart connection, and you feel like a failure when you go to bed. You're thinking, how on earth? And then with what you said was, if you're struggling with them, because I asked my boss, how was your day? Fun. What did you do today that was fun? Nothing. Erika's saying, I've got 3 teenagers. So that's the reality of it. Yes. And then you're like, was there anything nice that happened? No. Did you like your lunch? No. Oh, Lord. Okay, daar gaat jy. And when she spoke and she gave this wonderful, wonderful insight, and she said, perhaps do something with your teens. Get something like a sport, like she said, with karate. Go do something that's a common interest, because then they automatically start talking to you, because it's something that all of you do together. And I took that advice, and over the weekend, Nikki, with the boys, everyone loves cricket. So I thought, I'm just going to go with as mom, even though I don't have the bat, and but I'm going to put me in that position, in that situation. And immediately something changed again, because you're part of them. Yes. And even if it's just mom, throw the ball, or mom, yes, or mom, whatever, but they love that. And they will come and cuddle, and afterwards, mom, I love you so much, and so forth. And I thought, wow, that's what we need. So Nikki also can give you advice on how to deal with these children, because all of us as mothers, we're collectively doing our best. And sometimes we all feel like failures. So let her help you even in that. Because I've seen that when we are broken and we are so caught up in our pain that we don't even realize how we should bring up our children as well. And then we end up breaking them, and the cycle of generational curse continues. So it's time for us to stop that. And I know Nikki can help you with that. Erika, I'm excited for you to connect with her. Go and chat to her. You can inbox her even on Instagram, and I know she'll chat right back. And please follow Nikki, email her, go stalk her website. There's so much information on there. And Nikki, you're a wonderful guest. I'm so proud of you. I mean, you're a radiant woman. I admire your muscles. I don't want to say I envy them, I admire them. And you're just the story of God's hope. And I mean, if I think of what you've come through, and I look at other people who might be in those same situations, that those are the people that we look at and we're thinking, there's no hope. I don't know how that person is ever going to come right. They're so broken. We almost want to write them off to say, hulle is in hulle kontrak. Daar kan nie meer iets met hulle gebeur nie. But here, Nikki is sitting tonight, ministering from a place of wholeness where God lifted her up. So you're just a story of hope, of the goodness of God. And I want to honor you for that.
Oh,
sure.
You.
Okay, awesome. So we're going to end this broadcast, and thank you so much for joining. And go and just know tonight, even if you say a little prayer and you're feeling hopeless, know that God specializes in coming in our darkest hour. And when it looks most dark, that is when he shows up and the light is about to break forth. And for those who are at the end of this year and you're feeling low, or you feel like you haven't met the goals and the things that you set out for yourself, because life has happened this year and it's been long, and you feel frazzled and frustrated and maybe a little bit afraid because you see everything that's happening around the world and it's hitting close to home, and the economy, your house payments, the children's schooling, everything is just getting so much for you, and you're feeling afraid, or your mindset is not good at this moment, and you're thinking, oh, even these two girls, they've got it all sorted out now. That's not the truth. We are here to help, and we're always in a growth process. We might have overcome certain things, but that's the beautiful thing of living a life with Christ. He says in this world, there will always be pressures and troubles and economies and things and backchatting and whatever. But the way that we deal with it now is so much different, that you don't have to go into a deep pit of despair where the enemy is actually after your life. He wants to come and kill you and destroy you. He wanted that day. He wanted Nikki to drink those pills, and he wanted to kill her because he was after the next generation. He wanted to totally annihilate the legacy. But tonight or today, or whenever you're listening to this, if you're on your lowest point ever, I want to speak right now. And Father, I pray that you would come and minister and lift up the poor and the needy from the rubbish dump. I thank you, Jesus, that today is a day of salvation. That those who say, please, Lord, even if they've got no relationship, they don't know how to communicate with you, they don't know how to reach out with you, but if they just call upon the name of Jesus and you just say, Jesus, help me, you know what, that he would come in his majesty, in his power, and he will come and turn everything in your life around. So I pray, Father, for everyone listening. I pray for those who are helpless, those who feel bound and stuck, that you would come and do a mighty, mighty miracle in their lives. And that this year can still be the best year of their lives because you specialize in turning things around in a moment in time. And I pray for Nikki's ministry, Lord. I thank you that you will make her name great because she only focuses on you. And I thank you, Father, that clients will come from the north, the south, the east, and the west, and that she will be able to help many others become victorious like she is now. We pray for her husband and her children, Lord, and may everything pertaining to her life speak of the blessing of God. We pray this in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. Okay, next, you must have a fantastic time. We're going to catch up again soon. Like I said, Nikki is my sponsor on my Mrs. Universe South Africa journey. She has come on board, said that she believes in the journey. And then a part of that is that we showcase her business. We promote it. She's on my website, ChantellDavis.com. So if you couldn't find her, ChantellDavis.com, go and click. You'll see her beautiful picture. Oh my goodness, it's mind blowing. And you just click on it. It will take you directly to her link tree with all of her information as well. And follow her, find her, and let us be those women who support one another. We don't have to be afraid that the other one outshines the next one. all of us are so different, and God has called us to in this beautiful and chat you.